Did you know that there are so many ways for artists to make money? Today we're going to talk about the 7 income streams that I brought in my business in 2025, and then we're going to dive into one of those income streams that most artists aren't even aware of. It's one that is so much fun and I am extremely passionate about it. So just a little backstory. In 2023, I decided that it was time to take my art seriously. I had 3 kids. My oldest was like 12, 13, and my youngest was almost 2. And so I started looking for ways that I could make money with my art, because I'd spent my whole life developing this skill and I knew that I could begin to make some money with it. Now, fast forward to 2.5 years later, and I brought in 7 different income streams into my art business this year. So income stream number 1 is my Etsy shop. This Etsy shop isn't exactly connected to my art business per se, but it's one that I opened about 3 years ago when I was finishing my online degree. I had learned how to use Canva, and then I was buying printables for my kids who were homeschooling, and I started seeing all these Etsy store owners who were creating digital downloads and selling them. And it was like this light bulb went off in my head, and I thought, oh my gosh, these people create a product once and then they list it on Etsy and then they're selling over and over, and they don't have to ship anything, they don't have to print anything, they don't have to have any products, on hand. And so that kind of really got my cogs turning. And so before I was even thinking seriously about my art, I started an Etsy shop and I started making homeschool printables. Most of them were designed completely with Canva. A couple of them are hand painted, so there's a little art involved. But that really got me excited. I haven't touched that Etsy shop in 2 years. I haven't put any new listings on there. I haven't created anything for it, but it's still just bringing in a little bit of income. This year, Etsy brought in 4.1% of my income. And just a disclaimer here, I know some of you might be disappointed, but I am not going to give actual numbers, just percentages. I know a lot of artists go into their income streams, and I frankly like those videos a lot. It opens up a lot of, clarity. But at this point right now, I've decided I'm only going to share percentages. I would like to keep that other information personal right now. So the second income stream that I had this year is the money I brought in from art markets. So this is separate from galleries, which is the next one we're going to talk about. But art markets are pop-up markets that only last for 4 to 10 days generally, at least around here. So I participated in a couple of art markets and sold, I think, a total of 10 paintings. The first market did really well. The second one, not so much. That's just kind of how it goes. You win some, you lose some. The art markets brought in 11.9% of my income this year. Now, the third income stream that I had was galleries. Gallery sales consist of 5.7% of my income this year. Gallery work is something that I just started getting back into. I've had paintings in galleries in years past, a long time ago, but I kind of stopped doing that for a while because I was busy raising family and finishing my online degree. But this year I decided to focus more on the fine art and the galleries again. And so I was in the Springville Museum of Art Spring Salon in the spring. I had 1 painting. I had 10 little business card sized paintings at the J. Kirk Richards Gallery in Provo in the summer, and those all sold. And then I currently have a painting at the Springville Art Museum, 2 paintings at the J. Kirk Richards Gallery, and then some artwork at the 4 Lemons in Holiday, Utah. Income stream number 4 is client work or freelance work. This consisted of 31.6% of my income for this year. I had a big project for a friend that I worked on, and it actually was completed at the end of 2024, was paid early in this year. So that's lumped into this year's income. Income stream number 5, and it's a tiny little sliver, is commissions. Commissions consisted of 1% of my income this year. So I only had 1 commission this year, and then were for a couple little 6x6 bee paintings. I do enjoy commissions. They are also challenging depending on the subject matter. And so I'm learning to be kind of very particular in what I say yes to. I will take more commissions next year if the opportunity arises and if I feel like it's the right fit. The 6th income stream is teaching. So this was a fun one, and it's something I only offered in the spring for a little while, but I offered a homeschool watercolor art class, and it lasted about 6 weeks, and I had 4 students. and it was a lot of fun. And I've had some friends request or ask if I'm going to do it again, and I might do it again. We'll see. It was, like I said, it was a lot of fun, and I could see it being a good opportunity for growth and maybe a little bit of expansion. But right now I find it a little bit easier to be kind of more in the online space, online teaching, because it's more flexible for my schedule as a stay-at-home mom who has a 4-year-old still at home. But teaching consisted of 6.5% of my revenue this year. And the 7th income stream, which is probably my favorite, it's kind of the most fun, is art licensing. It sounds like such a technical, boring term, but it's where you basically rent your artwork to companies for them to use on their products. And in exchange, you get either a royalty or a flat fee. Art licensing consisted of 39.2% of my revenue this year. Art licensing has really grown in the pattern design world, but I think it's important to mention that you don't have to design patterns to license your artwork. For example, I license patterns to fabric and wallpaper and home goods, but I also license my wall art to different companies. So if you Google Mackenzie Nelson artwork online, you're gonna see artwork pop up on Target.com, on Home Depot, Kirkland's, Walmart, and various other stores. There are a couple of reasons why I love art licensing so much, and the first one is it's really a fun way to get your name out there and to kind of have a broader reach with your artwork. For example, I got a printout from one of my licensees earlier in the summer showing which artworks they had manufactured and sold and how many. And there was this long itemized list of my artworks that have gone out to people all over the country, and that's really, really fun. A lot of people might think, well, why don't you just make your own art prints? It's true, you can make more probably by selling your art prints than through licensing because you get a higher revenue from that per sale. But the thing is, when you license to a company, they have a much bigger audience generally. If they're a big company, they already have manufacturers and they're doing it all. Some might call it passive income. It's not exactly passive when you're licensing your art because you have to create the art and then you have to get it out there to pitch it to companies. But once you have your artwork licensed, they take care of the rest and you get the royalties. And so I love art licensing because in my mind, it's a really smart way to have your work working for you when you're sleeping, when you're brushing your teeth, when you're painting other projects, and when you're working on other things in your business. If this is piquing your interest, like it did mine, like it blew my mind when I first heard about art licensing, I want to tell you about my course that I'm launching in January. It's called Canvas to Contracts, A Painter's Guide to Art Licensing. And in the course, we're going to take you from being an artist just barely beginning to understand what art licensing is, all the way to having your work into a digital portfolio, having pitched your work to clients, and getting on your way to licensing. So this course is going to be really great. I am so excited about it. I've been working on it for months. So if you want to know more, join my waitlist in the description, because those on my waitlist are going to get the special founding member introductory price, and that price is not going to be back again.
Good morning.
My expenses for this year were 38% of my income. Now that's probably a little higher than it needed to be, but I did allow myself to get some things that just kind of helped. Some of those were some fun art supplies, but then a large part of those expenses went towards tech, website fees, memberships, lots of art supplies, gallery application fees, market fees, and things like that. Going into 2026, I would like my expenses to be lower, and that is possible if I don't decide to invest in more equipment for, say, filming and other more expensive supplies and equipment such as a printer for art prints. In 2026, I plan to continue forward with these revenue streams that I brought in this year, but then I'll be adding in a few additional revenue streams from my new course that is launching in January. And then on top of that, I will also be launching a membership for artists that will start later in the spring after my course has launched. A few more income streams that I'm planning to have by next year: YouTube monetization, affiliate marketing, and I might open up a print store on my website because I have had people asking for prints and I just haven't had time to focus on that this year, but it would be cool to offer that through my website. And I just have to decide if I want to buy a printer or outsource that. But I want a Giclée printer so bad. If you'd like to know more about art licensing, I have a whole playlist that you can watch next after this video.